Okay, so college is an amazing time. You've got all this new freedom, but let's be real. That freedom comes with new responsibilities. And one of the biggest, your money. We're going to talk about building your financial shield, starting with an emergency fund. It might sound kind of serious, but trust me, this is your ticket to way less stress and a whole lot more security.
So imagine this. Your laptop just completely dies the week before finals, or your car needs a repair that costs hundreds of dollars. What's your first move? You know that sinking feeling, that instant panic? Do you, call your parents, max out a credit card? That one moment of bad luck can honestly throw off your whole semester.
But what if there was a better way? What if, when that stuff happens, you could face it with confidence instead of panic? What if you could feel totally in control, even when life throws you a major curveball? Well, that's exactly what we're going to set you up with today. The answer is something called an emergency fund. And no, it's not super complicated. It's really just a savings account that you set aside for one thing and one thing only, to cover those unexpected, annoying expenses. Think of it like your own personal financial safety net, just waiting there for those oh no moments. Okay, so the big question, how big does this safety net actually need to be? Well, the general rule of thumb is to have enough saved to cover 3 to 6 months of your essential living expenses. And I know, as a college student, that can sound like a crazy, impossible amount of money. But don't panic. We are going to break down exactly how you can get there one small step at a time. All right, so how do we actually build this thing? We're going to follow a really simple 4-step blueprint. You don't need to be a finance genius for this. These are just clear, straightforward steps you can literally start taking as soon as this is over. Here's the roadmap. It's just 4 steps. First, we'll calculate your magic number. Second, we'll put your savings on autopilot. Third, we'll find some easy ways to trim your spending. And fourth, we'll look at a few ways to boost your income. Simple as that. First up, calculating your number. And trust me, this is way simpler than it sounds. Just open the Notes app on your phone, write down your essential monthly bills. Rent, groceries, your phone, any transportation costs, add them all up. That's your basic monthly survival number. Now just multiply that by 3, and there you have it. That's your starting goal. And remember, this is your target, no one else's. And listen, when you see that final number, please do not get intimidated. The single most important thing you can possibly do is to just start. Seriously. Even if you can only scrape together a few dollars each week, it is so much better than nothing. It's all about progress, not perfection. So the absolute easiest way to build momentum is to make saving a habit you don't even think about. This is step 2. Automate it. You could literally pause this, go to your banking app right now, and set up a recurring transfer, even if it's just $10 every Friday. You just set it and forget it, and your fund will start building itself in the background. Easy. Okay, so your savings are on autopilot. Awesome. Now let's try to speed things up with step 3, trimming your spending. And look, this is not about giving up everything fun. Not at all. It's just about being a little more mindful. Could you swap one dinner out for a night cooking in with friends? Or maybe cancel that one streaming service you totally forgot you were even paying for? Every dollar you trim goes straight into that financial shield. And the final piece of the blueprint, step 4, is boosting your income. Maybe you can pick up a few extra shifts at work, or you could offer tutoring services, or maybe just sell those old textbooks that are collecting dust. But, and this is super important, you have to remember the number 1 rule here. Never let a side hustle get in the way of your main hustle, which is your education. Your studies always come first. Okay, so you've started building your fund. That is amazing. Now we have to talk about how to protect it. There are 2 golden rules you gotta follow to make sure this money is actually there when an emergency hits. Golden rule number 1 is completely non-negotiable. This money needs to live in its own house. Open a totally separate savings account just for this fund. The reason is simple: psychology. Out of sight, out of mind. If that cash isn't mixed in with your everyday spending money, you'll be way less tempted to dip into it for non-emergencies. And that leads us right to rule number 2. You've got to know what a true emergency actually is. So, a sudden car repair so you can get to your job? Yeah, that's an emergency. An unexpected medical bill? Emergency. But scoring last-minute tickets to a concert? As fun as that is, it's not an emergency. This fund is for the unpredictable and urgent, not the fun and optional.
So, we've covered the what, the how, and the rules. But let's end this on the most important part, the why. Because building an emergency fund is about so much more than just having cash in an account. It's really about what that cash represents. Think about it like this. Yeah, maybe you make a few small sacrifices right now. You skip a few coffees, a few nights out. But what are you actually buying with that sacrifice? You're buying a cushion. You're buying a buffer between you and the chaos of a financial crisis. And trust me, in the long run, that is absolutely priceless.
Because when it comes down to it, the real payoff isn't the number in your bank account. It's the feeling you get knowing it's there. It's the freedom to focus on your midterms instead of stressing about money. It's being able to handle a crisis with a calm, okay, I got this, instead of a panicked, what am I going to do? That's financial resilience, and that is peace of mind. So I'll leave you with this one question. For just a second, forget that big 6-month goal. What is one small, tiny change you are going to make this week to start building your financial shield? Whether it's setting up that $5 transfer or selling one old textbook online, that journey starts with a single step. Now go take it.